Welcome back to another week's video, the place for creators to learn all things monetization, blogging tips, growing your creative business, and helping you to do the very thing that you love unapologetically. In today's video, guys, we are going to be kind of talking about something different than the usual. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to avoid burnout as an entrepreneur. Now, you guys know I come on here all the time sharing the strategies and monetizing, blogging, and we talk about how to grow your business. But I wanted to tap into this particularly with the ending of the year, heading into a new year. I want to talk about just keeping your mind sane, right? Being in the same place as a brand, as an entrepreneur. So I want to talk about just some ways here on how you can avoid burnout so you never experience that and that you can stay on the right path on your entrepreneur journey, in the right mindset, doing the right things that is lawful for you, fulfillment for you, happiness for you. So let's talk about a few of those tips to avoid entrepreneur burnout. So the first thing that I want to tap into is necessarily how do you identify burnout? So I want to talk about ways that you can really understand where is it coming from before you even get to that place so you can know what to cut off, what to stop immediately before you head down that route. So the first thing that I want to highlight when you're trying to discover burnout, to even prevent it, to avoid it, first discover your habits and your behavior. So how are you acting? Are you acting stressed? Are you moody all the time? Are you just done with, communication from others? Are you in a funk? Are you just unmotivated? So if you're feeling these kinds of behaviors, if this is something that's showing up to you in your daily life and you start seeing yourself experiencing these things, you may want to step a step back. You may want to step a step back and reevaluate, like, why am I stressed? Why am I moody? Why am I snapping at people, right? So it's really just all about you and rediscovering yourself and just paying attention to how you're acting and you're approaching things. That is the first thing that you want to do, because you can just be going on autopilot and not realizing you're snapping at folks, or you're moody all the time. You're not your happy self as you once were. It's easy to get caught up in that behavior because you are just going on about your day. Maybe you're doing the same things every day, routine in and out. You're not really thinking about you, your personality and how you're treating others. Maybe someone may come up to you that's close with you and like, hey, you need to check yourself. You need to check your attitude. You're not how you normally act. Someone may bring it to your attention, and when they bring it to your attention, it really makes you notice, like, hey, maybe I am acting different. Maybe I am acting a certain kind of way. I need to see what's going on with myself. You tend to look inside yourself and reevaluate your decisions and your behaviors and your way of you showing up, because you're normally not that way. So you want to fix it and resolve it in the moment, in the matter, as soon as you can before it gets out of control. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Just discover your behavior, your overall approach in being, how you're acting. The next thing that I wanted to talk about within that whole area of how you can identify burnout is think about your workload. So is your workload stressing you out? Are you taking on tons of projects? This can be in your business, your side hustle, outside of that, but as an entrepreneur, where are you taking on? Are you saying yes to a lot of things, a lot of speaking engagements, a lot of things that require your presence outside of the norm of your normal workflow? Are you trying to come up with a new deadline, a new project, and you're trying to meet that deadline for this new project? Like, what are you doing that's different and that's causing you all the stress? And maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you don't have time for your family and friends or your loved ones. Even yourself, maybe you're not getting the sleep, so you have to think about your workload as well. And that definitely can get you to burnout, because maybe you just good, right? You're good at what you do, you love what you do, and you don't consider it being a lot, but it can be a lot as an entrepreneur because you're constantly on the go. You're making your own schedule, you're making your own hours, but entrepreneurs work all day, every day if they can, if they need to as well. But you want to make sure you're in that space where you're not so burnt out that you are just out of your mind, right? You're out of your mind. You're not knowing what day it is. You still having the same clothes. You haven't taken a shower. You're just overwhelmed with the whole workflow. And you don't want to be like that. So that is how you're able to identify before you even get to that point is check out your current workload. If it's fine, if you're able to handle it without any stress or worries and you're able to move accordingly, don't touch it. But if you see that you're all over the place and it's overwhelming you, it's time for you to make some shifts, right? And the other way that you're able to identify is when you're looking at your behavior and you're looking at your workflow, the next thing that you want to think about is your health. So your health is wealth, as they say. But if you're not eating like you normally do, if you're not getting your rest, taking your supplements, if you're not drinking your water, just getting that sleep that you need as a human being, if you're not getting your full 8 hours, some people can do with 7 or 6 hours of sleep. But just think about your health, especially right now, right? When we're dealing with this COVID and we're all trying to remain healthy and our immunity build up. So how are you acting in that space with your overall being, in your health? That's another self-check that you can do to identify your ways and your habits, like I said, before you even reach to that point of burnout. Reevaluate your behavior, reevaluate your workload, and definitely reevaluate your health. So next, I'm going to tell you guys some other ways what you can do to avoid burnout. So let's talk about those ways. So question for you, have you dealt with burnt out in your business already? Have you reached like a breaking point, or did you see yourself headed that way, going to burnout? Let me know in the comments and share with me any experiences that you probably had dealing with burnt out that you avoided or got out of if you were ever in. I would love to hear your feedback on this. So let me know in the comments. Okay, so now that we talked about little ways that you can identify burnout before you even get to that spot, let's talk about how to avoid burnout, right? So personally, I come up with these ways because I've seen it happen. I haven't dealt with burnt out, but I know like when it's coming to that point, I know how to back away from it and reevaluate like I'm telling you guys to do. So the first thing that I wanted to share is your goals don't have to be other people's goals, right? So that's a big deal to avoiding burnout, because we all see everyone doing the same thing. We're all building businesses. Like I said, we're all in the forefront. You have competition, competitors, all of that, right? In your industry, in your space. And so it seems like somebody else's grass is greener than yours, like they say, right? So you see someone's grass is way greener than yours. They may be ahead of the game. They may be making an income you want. They're driving the car that you want. They have the house that you want. They're living the lifestyle that you want. And you're looking on your end like, oh, this is not what I wanted to do. This is not the numbers that I need to hit. Like you're just constantly looking at what's wrong with you in comparison what's right with them. So that is what you need to think about, is your goals don't have to be their goals. For one, you don't even know them, like I said before. For two, you're running your own race. And that's what I heard a message today. My pastor actually said that you're running your own race. So why are you competing with somebody else's goals that you don't even know? And you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you're just trying to compete and compare when you don't even know what you're competing or comparing for. So that is a number one key to avoid burnout, because comparison is the thief, right? Like I said, of joy. But long as you're looking to your right and you're looking to your left, and you're just you're looking, but you're not looking here. You're not looking inward. You're looking everywhere else, but you're not focused on what do you want. So when you get clarity and peace and understanding of what you're wanting to do and accomplish, that will leave you free, and you will be at peace with yourself and your decisions and your moves and your goals, versus what Susie is doing on the other end or Johnny doing on the next end, right? So that is one way to kind of just refocus and think in the back of your mind. Just keep thinking, what do you want? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? If you have to keep saying it, Because I say all the time, when you're scrolling, you're doing it unconsciously, comparison with others, and you're not sure why, and it just happens, right? It just shows up in your life. But you have to be focused and intentional with those things and block out the noise and focus on what your goals are that you want to achieve. And that would take a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of overwhelm out the whole equation if you just eliminate in its own. So think about doing that. In the next way, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I just stated about focusing on your own goals and how your goals don't have to be anyone else's. The next tip that I advise is step away from the chaos, right? So that's even in itself. So any negativity, any bad behavior, any bad traits, personalities, energy that's all around you, just step away from it. Unplug from social media. If you are on social media at a specific time, like if you go on like Monday through Friday or even Monday through Sunday, however you get on for your business promotions, just step away from it. Find a day to unplug, or if you find a couple of hours to unplug, whatever works for you in your lifestyle, in your business. Like I always say, just make sure that you're stepping away from it so you can replug, you can recharge, you can refocus, and then again, reconnect with yourself or what you're wanting, not what everyone else is doing and what the timeline says that you have to have and do. Just step away from the noise, step away from the chaos. And that could be on social media, that can be in real life. You can unfollow people. And I said this before, I posted on my social media this week, before I made my video last week, I was saying that I was going on an unfollow, just buttons, just going down, unfollowing, not following, because I don't have time to see the noise and I don't have time for a comparison, like I said before. But at the same sense, I want to create more than I consume. And when I saw a meme about that, and I was like, man, that is so good, because I was the one guilty of consuming everything, just consuming all this content, which is good, but I wasn't creating anything, and it was keeping me still. It was keeping me stagnant. So I learned to just break out and not unfollow, and I separate myself. Like, I don't try to be, seen so much. Like, I want to be seen for my people and my audience for sure, but I don't want to be seen just to be in a social club, in a social circle. So all of that noise, I step away from and unfollow in real life, and I unfollow on social media, and you have to do the same thing. So if it's people constantly in your circle, in your ear with all that noise, all that negative energy, all of that stuff that just doesn't mean you well, you can't afford to take it over to next year, right? And you can't just have that on you. That's extra baggage. It's just like remove and unfollow. So you can unfollow virtually and in real life. So that is the next advice to prevent burnout, because it won't take you there. You don't want none of this to take you to that level, right? So step away from the chaos. So after you have decided that your goals are not their goals, after you step away from the chaos, the last thing is just wrapping it all up and self-discovering and get clarity on what is important to you and why you want it. Like I said, what do you want? What do you want? Why do you want it? But in most cases, why is it important to you? So going back to your mission, your values, right? Reevaluate why you're doing what you're doing. What is your why? Like everyone says, when you want to quit, when you want to, everything seems like it's failing and all stops, all ends, go back to your why. So why are you building your business? Why are you building your brand? Is it for freedom? Is it for more income? Is it for your kids? Is it for to live a certain lifestyle? Is it for to have a certain amount in the bank? Is it for to help others in the mission? Is it for building the impact? Like discover those things and then refocus and reevaluate, as I said in the beginning of this video, on why those things are important to you, and keep doing it. Rinse and repeat. So long as you keep those in the forefront, you know what you're trying to accomplish each day when you wake up and you run your business. You know what you're doing with your time. You are knowing what you're doing with your energy. So you don't have room for all of this clog. You don't have room for all of this negativity, all of these blocks, all of these stops. So once you have all of that focus and you know that clarity, that sense that you're needing, it's no burnout. It's no burnout because you have that vision, right? You have that vision of what you're doing, who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, what are you trying to set, your goals that you're trying to achieve. Everything is right there. It's written and it's plain. So nothing can steer you away from that. So you have no reason to be stressed, worried, overwhelmed, and you won't be in that rut that you found yourself in previously or that is trying to come into your existence, right? So it's just constantly going back to those things every single day, every single week, however often that you need to remind yourself of who you are, what you have, what you're trying to accomplish in your lane, in your business, right? In your industry, as you, no one else, as you as yourself. So it's just giving you permission to show up as your authentic self, your genuine self, your real self, and doing what you're called to do and doing what you love to do, as I say. So that is definitely the tips that I advise for you to think about and to really just do the work, the inside work, so that you can know what you can do if and when burnout tends to creep into your presence, right? So you can know how to avoid it, how to stop it. These are the tips and techniques I can follow. I can do this so I can move from this, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys on how to avoid burnout as an entrepreneur. That's it, guys, for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know this was a little bit different than my normal strategy videos, tips, and tricks, but I hope you got massive value. As always, for tuning in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified as I put out a new video every single Monday. If you feel like you got some value and someone could benefit from this video, hit the like and share button. And don't forget to check out my recent latest videos that I have to help you grow your creative business, gain up and increase your monetizing skill sets, doing what you're called to do and love to do, and building that profitable business in the process. Talk to you guys soon, and I will see you next week.